Where in your life do you feel like you're waiting? Are you waiting to be seen so you can have an opportunity? Why?
Mm.
Why are you waiting?
All right, beautiful souls. I am so excited because we are doing something that we've never done before, which is bringing back a repeat guest. So I am so excited that Jessica Papineau is in the space. She is such a dear, close friend of mine. She is a soul sister, and she is also my personal stylist. She is the founder of CSJ Styling, which is a leading personal styling company dedicated to empowering female entrepreneurs on a mission to change the world. She has over 25 years of experience in the fashion industry. She's helped thousands of women harness the power of style to serve their purpose, boost their confidence, and elevate their image. From seven-figure entrepreneurs to executives of billion-dollar global brands, she is an expert at transforming wardrobes into a strategic tool for success. Really let that marinate. She's been featured in ABC News, listed as a top 10 self-made woman to follow by MSN, and was recently gracing the cover of She Means Business magazine. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, you can see it right behind her beautiful face. So we're so excited to dig in today. Jessica, thank you so much for coming back for another episode. I can't wait to dig in.
Christina, thank you so much for having me. I didn't realize I was the first repeat guest, so I am like so honored.
Yes.
And we're having you as a repeat guest, and you will be my first repeat guest.
I
And you
love
are my
it.
very first episode
So
of the
excited.
Jessica Papineau show. So,
Yeah. We had
yes.
so much fun. And I'm so excited to have your energy back in the space because I feel like both of us are completely different women from even when we first recorded our first episode, which is wild to think because it's like, what was that? I don't know, 6 months ago, a year ago, and how much has
Mhm.
shifted and transformed by leaning into the different medicine that each of us preach and how that actually can elevate us in so many different ways. So, this
Mhm.
conversation is going to be different, and I'm really excited to dig in because of that.
What you just said gave me full body chills
Mm.
because okay, I just have to tell you this. Before we started the episode, I just because I always let things just drop in and I don't wanna know what you're gonna ask me and all the
Yeah.
things. I'm like, "Don't tell me
Yeah.
what you're gonna ask me because I just wanna be in the moment."
Yeah.
But what was dropping in for me is and this is, with this will other women especially will relate to this. Um, my truth a year ago
Mm.
in a lot of ways, a lot of different things, is not my truth today.
Mm. Mhm.
And this is something that you and I have talked about before. I've seen you speak on this before.
Mhm.
And I think many female entrepreneurs or, high performing women, I think when they just begin to like get into the space of wanting to stretch and grow, and you bring these things up, like it's possible for what you believe to be true to not be
Mhm.
true.
Mhm.
They can't even imagine what that means or the possibility of that their truth could be different. I know
Yes.
I was one of those women.
Mhm.
So anyway, that had dropped in for me and it was just very interesting that you mentioned how there's been such a change in both of us over
Yes.
the last year. It's been stretchy.
Mhm. Yeah. And how would you say that your truth has expanded over the last year? Like, what have you seen yourself expand into? Tell us more about that.
Mm. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a great
Mhm.
question. Well, one thing that has always been so important to me since I started my company really was continuously refining and serving my clients deeper.
Yeah.
And I do know that in order to do that, I have to be stretching and growing and, moving the needle forward in my mindset, in my
Mhm.
relationships. Like it's a holistic type of an approach. But I will say just over the course of maybe even a little over a year, because, I think you and I met Gosh, time just flies, but it feels like I've known you for my whole life
I
too.
know,
So
I
I guess
know.
it was a
Yeah.
little over a year.
Uh-huh.
And I thought in my mind that I only had a little bit of work to do
Mm,
on myself. I thought I've grown, I've stretched, I've done so many things. But what's really interesting when you continue to allow yourself to lean into the uncomfortable of growth,
yes.
what's so interesting is that you get to a place of going so deep that it's like you crack yourself wide open.
Mhm.
And that has been what's happened to me, like layers of that over the last year and a little bit.
Mhm.
And I mean, I won't get into the nitty-gritty of all of those things, but there definitely have been times, and we've had conversations even over voice memo of like, yes, everything's wonderful. Like everything feels great. I have so much gratitude for the amazing people in my life and the clients that I have and those that I'm serving. But then there's also some really hard things that come up,
Yes.
that are painful or like old feelings from when we were children or, and we're always going through these type of things. And when we lean in and we're open to like allowing those feelings to come up, we literally can be sitting in a parking lot not going into the store because we're crying in our car, and,
Yeah.
it's like people look at us and go, "Oh, they've gotta have it all going on." But
Mhm.
the thing is that there is a behind the scenes that's behind the scenes.
Oh, so well said. So well said. Behind every woman, there's behind the scenes, behind the scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and so what that has done in allowing myself and giving myself permission to be cracked wide open,
Mm,
and you were a big part of the beginning
mm,
stages of that because I trusted you and
mhm,
I felt safe for
mhm.
you while you were holding space with me. And I was ready. I mean, you have to be not gripping ready, but you have to surrender and just
Yeah.
allow it, allow whatever's going to come up. And so I had a lot of, trauma, like past childhood
Mhm,
trauma that I had, for many years. I had gone to therapists and I had done different, meditating, and I tried all kinds of things. I thought I tried everything. And
mhm,
then, when I was like, okay, I'm going to fully relinquish my control and stop thinking my way
mm,
through the process, I'm just going to allow myself to drop in to my body and fully trust that whatever is ready to come through is going to be released. And so I would say I'm still in that process. Those that, follow me on social media that are in my mastermind that, I speak on stages and things now, they would probably go, "What? I can't imagine you like on the floor crying or like
Yeah.
throwing up after a session with Christina Deering because you're releasing your inner childhood drama."
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when you do allow yourself to go there
Mm,
and you are in safe spaces with and investing in yourself, like investing in yourself in, the coaches that you have and health, people that can support you in your health and, that type of thing. And you can actually, you know, allow yourself to fully experience life and all the pain and all the joy and all the things. You can also serve those that you're meant to serve deeper, and you have a larger capacity to hold that space. And so what I've noticed has been happening is there's more opportunities that are coming my way on, like on bigger platforms and that the reach of who I'm speaking into is larger.
mm,
I'm seeing the difference of, I was recently speaking to Elise Archer's community
mhm,
in Portland, Maine.
Mhm.
and it was a 2-day thing, and, some of her people that were getting their certification, from, going through her coaching program, that was, like, the first day, and the second day was a mastermind that she had, and because and I spoke at her event 1 year a little over a year ago, and you were there,
Yeah, I
and
was.
that was the beginning of this process, and I had people that were at the last event that were at this event that came up to me, like, crying, saying,
Mm.
"I thought it was great last year,
Mhm.
and this year, you, like, hit me so deep, like, I'm going home and I have, like, some work to do."
Mhm.
And so I'm just saying that to say, you know, we have a responsibility as high performing women that desire to serve deeply, that desire to impact many people. We have a responsibility to take care of ourselves.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The reason we were laughing earlier about the crying in the parking lot was because I messaged Jessica and said, I'm literally in Whole Foods crying in the parking lot. So,
Well, I didn't want to call you out,
oh,
but
I'm calling myself out. They were probably like, why are they laughing? It's like, oh, because this just happened to me on Tuesday. And it's a thing, it's the what's happening behind the scenes, even behind that. And so it really is about, do you have those safe places, those nourishing, soft places to land, to let yourself crack open, to let yourself meet the parts of yourself that might feel scary or unknown or just totally chaotic because we don't know what to do with this big energy. We've kind of pushed it into a corner and said, I'll look at you later, or maybe I'll just never look at you. And then we realize that's our biggest growth point, or that's the biggest thing that's been holding us back. And until we, step out a little bit and do the brave thing, meet the part of ourselves that's resisting it, heal that part, and then move forward again, that's, I feel like, how we really step into even more divine alignment. And so just to see where you've come from, exactly as you said, that year ago event where you were speaking and it was so powerful, the message that you shared, and then now hearing how it went this time a year later, how women were like, I've got work to do. They had tears in their eyes. I mean, it's just such a testament to you doing that work because people can only meet us as deep as we're willing to go. And so
yeah.
if we have a mission, it's exactly right. We have a responsibility to go deeper within ourselves so that we can hold an even bigger container for people to come in and experience the magic and go deeper within themselves to transform themselves through that experience too. So beautifully said. And I completely agree. It's like my truth has shifted so much when I think about the version of me a year ago. I just want to give her the biggest hug for one, being brave enough to get there, but two, for continuing to go and move through the resistance and to have people like you that I could reach out to and be like, I'm freaking out. Like, I need you to just hold me for a minute, even if it's virtually. And it's such a testament. So I think even surrounding ourselves with incredible women is what it's all about as
Mhm.
well, because we really, for a woman who is healed or moving through a healing process, because we're never fully healed, but for a woman who can hold that capacity for herself, she's going to celebrate your wins and she's going to be with you when you fall to your knees too. And I think that's so important.
It's so important. I shouldn't say I wish. If I would have known before the age of 40 that it existed to have, like, soul
Yeah.
connected relationships with women,
Yeah.
it probably could have really changed the game for me earlier on. I think especially when I'm a super sensitive person, which makes me really good at my work
Mhm.
because I'm so sensitive to other people and, like,
Yeah.
other people's needs. And so when you're not surrounding yourself with, people that have the ability to expand with you or have the capacity to hold space that could be uncomfortable,
Mhm.
it can prevent us from growth ourselves,
Mhm.
right? And so what you said about, other women celebrating wins, like this, it's almost like this collective, this collective energy of women that it takes on even an energy of its own. And
Mhm.
I've really been able now over this last, even couple years of meeting wonderful women that I feel this alignment with, where it's like this even exchange of energy, but like giving without the expectation in return too.
Mhm.
It's just
Mhm.
there's a different energy around that.
Yes.
It's like I've realized that it becomes the energy amongst women like that becomes bigger than who they even are, and I
Mhm.
almost see it as, like, things are shifting.
Mhm.
Things are shifting with women in business.
Mhm.
We're realizing that we don't have to, like, stay in such a masculine way of thinking when it comes to business. And I
Mhm.
know you do a lot of work around this, Christina, with
Mhm.
people that you work with.
Mhm.
You even help me with this, like really trusting your own, like your own feeling, that gut feeling, that intuition feeling, and leveraging that in business and that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And so I think when you get those types of women together, it's almost like getting together the leaders of, to me, what this movement, I'm going to call it a movement. I know this sounds like
Oh,
it
no, it is. Mhm.
really
Yes.
is, and it creates a trickle down
Mhm.
effect, and it's
Absolutely.
so powerful and even almost hard to describe.
Yeah. Yeah. To your point, it takes on an energy of its own.
Mhm.
And I'm curious, what had you specifically want to lean in with female entrepreneurs? Because you could style anyone, but you bring in
Yeah.
so much more than just the styling. But what is it specifically within your soul that you knew that you were called to support this group of women?
Well, I gotta tell you, I didn't always know the answer to that.
Mhm.
I've really, since starting my company, allowed myself to be kind of, allow things to organically flow and bob and weave and pay attention to what feels good.
Mhm.
So it just felt good. That was
Yeah.
the only way I could describe it for a long time,
Yeah.
but I would say now I have a larger understanding for it, and I also have claimed more of what my gifts are,
Yeah.
because, this is way more than, outfitting women and
Mhm.
styling them. That's
Yeah.
not that's the vehicle.
Mhm.
That's, like the physical that you kind of see that I do. But to actually describe what it is that I do is I really see women as the highest version of who they desire to be. Like,
Yes.
I see them there. I can
Mhm.
look at her, I can watch her, I can ask her questions, and she can tell me things about herself and what she loves, and, like, get to the heart of who she is, bring
Mhm.
her to a place, I'm gonna call it, of remembering who she is,
Mhm.
and then allow, because women trust me. They
Mhm.
trust me because I really care. I really
Yes, you
care,
do.
and I really can hold the space, and so when I can get her, I'm saying her, and she is that high performing woman that really she desires to be the best version of herself, but she may feel this resistance to this push, this hustle, this, like, I have to do this, I have to prove myself,
Mhm.
or, she may not feel even fully worthy of investing in herself.
Mhm.
Uh, but what I am capable of doing when she can kinda surrender and allow herself to fully trust that I can hold her and I
Mhm.
can see her as this highest version, that's when I can begin to do my creative work of helping her to build a wardrobe that doesn't necessarily even line up with how she's living her life now, but it
Mhm.
aligns with the truth of what it is that she is becoming, that
Yes.
she is meant to become, that she is ready to step into. And so, what's really interesting, and this is just kind of coming to me now, is, in the beginning, I was talking about how, what once was true to me maybe a couple years ago is now no longer true today. It's
Mhm.
almost the same thing in how women see themselves. Because
Mm.
what I've learned is that I can see them.
Yes.
I fully see them. But when I watch them and peer in and watch them look in the mirror, they're not seeing what I'm seeing
Mhm.
until they do.
Yeah. Yes.
Until we get to that
Uh-huh.
place,
Yeah.
and so, it's just so interesting to me. I've worked with so many women, and there's
Mhm.
just this consistency in women looking at themselves in such a way that is actually not true,
Mhm.
and it's almost like their lens is, like, clouded,
Yes.
and when we can kinda take that veil off and reveal them using fit and fabric and fashion, not as a way to create their style that fits in some kind of box, but to
Mhm.
create a style that's uniquely their own, that is, highlighting all of the best parts of them, both their body parts and the unique gifts that they have on the inside.
Mhm.
That is where the magic is. That's really the essence, I would say, of what
Mhm.
it is that I do with entrepreneurial women.
Mhm. You really take because I am a client, so you really do take us on this, like, transformational journey. It's not just about the styling. When I first stepped in, I was like, "Oh, I'll get some nice clothes and blah, blah, blah." And I had many moments where I felt extreme resistance to that next version of myself, where I was like, am I allowed to show up like this? Am I allowed to
Mm,
show these parts of myself, not just physically, but metaphorically? Because now I'm calling even
yeah.
more attention to myself. Am I ready to take up that much room? You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's good.
Yes, and so I really that was a walk that you were in tandem with me with, where I was just really honest about like, "Okay, I love that you can see it. I'm not there yet. I'm kind of freaking out." And you were like, "Perfect. This is the breakthrough." Right? We have to sometimes break down to break through. And so
Mhm,
you just held me in that and you were like, "I see you and I want you to know what I see too." You held space for my big feelings and then you also held space for like can I share with you what I'm also seeing? Like the vision of you that I see
mm,
right now. And it was
mm.
like, okay. And I sat with it and the seed was planted. And it was like, I went to bed and I woke up the next day and I was like, I am that girl. Like, let's go. Like, I am that woman. It was like, I swear I was like less than 24 hours every time because I just somehow go really hard in the paint with breakdown
Yeah,
and breakthrough.
yeah.
But I needed you to help me see that because my lens was very blurry, from someone who absolutely high achiever, someone who's female entrepreneur, someone who kind of checked all those boxes, but had a very cloudy vision when it came to really seeing herself and the person that was not only on the inside, but what she was portraying on the outside. Like I had a very clouded vision. And so you really helped me take all the work that I had done on the inside from body dysmorphia to am I allowed to be this, like, be seen in my magic? Am I allowed to, quit my corporate job and fully step in and make money and all these things? And then it got to a point where it was like, oh, there's more transformation available. It's not just, I did all of these brave things. What's now next? What does that look like next? And you
Mm,
really helped me see that woman where at the time I was like, toying with some of these ideas like keynote speaking and some of these things that I do now that I'm like, oh my gosh, I needed Jessica to fully see me in that. I knew it in my bones, but I wasn't fully stepping into it yet. I wasn't
mm,
embodying it yet. And I realized when I put on the clothes, it was like trying on a new energy where I was
mm,
like, oh, it's like a transfer of energy where it's like coming from the inside and coming from the outside and coming from the inside. And all of a sudden I was like, well, that's alignment because it's coming from both now. But it's like I had to
mm,
oscillate with that energy on both sides to see what it felt like. And before it was just inside. And I realized when the two came together, it was like, oh, it's go time. And all the offers started pouring in. I was like, I started making more money. And it wasn't like anything changed in business. I just felt more confident. I was becoming more magnetic. I was showing up as a version of myself that just felt like she could really speak her truth, regardless of what other people thought. And so it was this really beautiful, transformative experience that I was not anticipating at all. I was just like, I'm gonna get pretty clothes. And like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I am like a new woman. I'm speaking on stages. I am making what it is that I dreamed of like
yeah.
years ago. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, all of my dreams are coming true. What changed? And it was like, well, lots did, but a big part of that was leaning in with you.
All right, so I have to tell you so many things. So
I know I hit you with a lot there.
you said a lot. So one of them is okay, well, first of all, you because of the type of woman that you are, and because you really are, let me just name it. You're like my avatar client. You know,
Mhm,
you allow me to do my best work. You were willing to go there.
mhm.
And but you go there fast and you fast and furious. And
Yeah,
like I had not it was a different experience for me because
yeah,
you went so fast. And I think because you were so raw and honest,
yeah.
and I learned a lot through that journey with
Mhm.
you, especially what happened in the beginning. And I actually have had to change my process.
Oh, no, I love it.
No, no, well, here it is because, I know that very first box, I knew it was gonna be stretchy for you, but I didn't realize how stretchy
Yes.
and what that was gonna bring up, and, like, you already were, like, cracked open. You're like, "I'm always cracked open. Let's just see
Yeah.
what bubbles up, and I'm just gonna
So
let
true.
it out,"
Yeah.
which you totally did, and
Good.
and I wasn't totally expecting it, but I
I was
I
like, "I hope you're
remember that
ready."
voice the the voice memo, and I'm like, "Okay, she just needs to process. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let her process this whole thing," and it did. It changed in 24 hours, and I knew it would,
Mhm.
but I will say the thing that I do differently now is I share with people how normal it is for
Yes.
things to come up.
Yeah.
I mean, I kinda would touch on it before, but now I say, like, allow whatever comes up when you open that first box and you start trying things on that are different, that are
Uh-huh.
feeling like you're revealing yourself again. It's like you're revealing yourself to yourself, and it's making you really look at things. Like, look at yourself, but also, we as women, we do things like, maybe put on something fitted and our eyes go to an area that we have shame around.
Mhm.
And then but it's deeper than that, right? It's like, "Oh, like, I don't like that, so I'm gonna cover it up."
Mhm.
And and so in doing the, like, leave that outfit on or leave that thing on and really continue to look at yourself
Mhm.
and maybe step away and take some time and go and do one of your Zoom calls or whatever, and then come back to the mirror and look and see if it looks different. And it's like you have to start listening to those. What are those voices telling me? Like, you're ugly, your belly is big, your backside is bumpy, or whatever it is that we all do these things to ourselves.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not alone in that. I have to catch myself saying things that are mean,
Right.
and
Mhm.
whose voice is that?
Yeah.
Who is actually telling us that? Because it's some kinda old thing that
Mhm.
comes up, and sometimes we need to allow that feeling to come up
Yes.
and allow ourselves to see ourselves in
Mhm.
order to release that lie of what we thought or what we think. And
Mhm.
it can shift when we allow that to move through. And I know I got to witness it with you when
Mhm.
you took the picture the very next day, like, you moved through those feelings in 24 hours, and then you put on the next outfit that was, like, fitted, and you tucked the shirt in, and you put the
Uh,
belt on, and you put the jacket over it, and you did the sexy pose in the mirror and posted it on Instagram. That was
I
how I
know.
knew you broke through it. 'Cause
I
I'm
tagged
looking
you.
on my phone dings, I have my
Yeah.
notifications on, and I get off my Zoom call that I was on, I was like, "Oh, who tagged me in that,
Uh,
story? What the heck?" She's
I
like
went from sending you pictures of, like, my love handles at the time to being like, I was like, "I can't wear this. Returning everything. This is the worst." To the next day, literally taking selfies and being like, "I love myself. I look so good." But it was like what I really had to do was, like, I realized I was just in that old version of me, and it was like the box and you were having me dance with a future version of me where I wasn't tearing myself apart, where I wasn't looking at myself as parts and pieces and not enough. It was like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I could really wear this. Like this actually, and it's like the outfit looked completely different the next day. Same outfit,
Mm,
but it
mm,
literally, I went from wearing that outfit to being like, oh no, it's too revealing, to the next day being like, I kind of love that I'm getting to see this part of myself that I haven't honored since I was 7 or something really wild. Because I think back, I'm like, when did body dysmorphia start? Because I've talked about this on the podcast. I had an eating disorder in college, and it was something that manifested from childhood. And so when I really went back and started to really tune into when did that start? I mean, I don't even know, 7.
yeah.
And so that was the part of me that I was confronting for the first time with
Mm,
so to your point, it wasn't just about the box and stepping into the future version of me. It was like I also had to move through that 7-year-old really just needed like a hug. She needed to feel safe. She needed to feel seen. She needed to know that it was
mm,
okay to show herself, to be seen by herself first so that
yeah,
she could express it to the world. And so I was just dancing with that energy of old version of me, new version of me. You helped me be, you were uh, like the conductor in the middle that helped it feel less chaotic, to then be like, oh my gosh, I see myself so differently. And I was so much more confident after that. It was, again, going hard in the paint. Some people take longer than others, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong. But I
yeah,
go really deep in it because I want to understand it, what's coming up for me, you know? And so I love that now in your process, you've normalized that because I think uh,
mm,
one of my big things that I probably learned, I would say, especially in my 20s and the early 30s, was like to voice what I was feeling. So I'm so grateful you've now created even more space for the woman that might be toying with, having her voice be heard in that experience. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think it's even opened up more dialogue because as you know, part of my process is coaching.
Yeah.
It's not just preparing the outfits and you give me your itinerary and and I send you the boxes and the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, tell me what that feels like. And I recently had a woman had a very similar experience to
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
But I had prepared her for the experience and
Yay.
and, and she hadn't expected to have that experience. She's like, "Oh, no, I don't know, I'll be fine." And it hit her
Yeah.
when she tried the clothes on and all of that stuff came up and we had to kind of work through it. But I think it's, through allowing yourself to like go there, to really feel it and then allow somebody else to hold the space with you
Mhm.
and then, go through it and continue to show up because I think as high performing women, I know so many that like the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes is I don't know if I really want to be seen.
Mhm. Yeah.
And and these are women that you wouldn't think that.
Yes.
They're on stages,
Mhm.
so we're all in it together. Like we're just at different points in our journeys. But, when I can work with a woman that's already like influencing, impacting,
Mhm.
transforming other people's lives, and I can help her stretch further to go, I want to walk in the room be as big as I can be and to reach as much as I can reach. And I want that visibility. I do want to be seen.
Mhm.
And when I see that happen and I see the changes and how, like you mentioned, the magnetizing
Mhm.
it's magnetizing in those that need you that
Mhm.
wouldn't have otherwise found you if you stayed small, if you stayed quiet, if you stayed, yeah, you're on the stage and some people are looking at you and it's all good, but you're bumping up against a ceiling and when
Mhm.
you break that wide open and you just allow it, it's powerful. And I mean, the reason why I can help guide women through this, well, is number one, because that is my superpower to see women and my
Yes.
imagination and all of that. But
Mhm.
I'm also doing the work. I
Mhm.
also have my own
Yeah.
fears around all of that.
Mhm. Mm. So true. Because again, like our clients can only go as deep as we're willing to go. and they can only expand as big as we're willing to expand. And so I just such a testament to you of you saying like I want to understand where my own resistance is. I want to understand where I can expand and where I can lean into my deeper level of truth and that remembrance. And so I just love
Yeah.
that you've really amplified that. And because of that, you've created a space for the women that step in to feel that safety too, to explore all sides of themselves, not just the woman in celebration of, I look great, I feel good. It's also the woman that's like, I'm freaking out. And I think that's the beauty and the transformation in and of itself is like letting there be space for that because there very well might be because you are stepping into this next version of yourself. And so you really help them dance with that and play with the energy. So I'm curious, how would a woman know that it's time for her to step in?
That's such a great question. I think that oftentimes okay, oh, this is good. This is good.
I
I'm
love
glad you asked this. I just I guess what I wanna ask a question to,
yeah.
like, to your listeners, to everyone that's whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on whatever podcast platform. I want you to think about something. I want you to think about where in your life do you feel like you're waiting?
Mm,
Like you're waiting for someone to discover you? Are you waiting to be seen so you can have an opportunity? Are you waiting to invest in yourself
mhm,
because you feel like you have to have a certain number, dollar amount that you're making in order to make that investment? Are you waiting because you don't feel like you've fully done all the work, that you need to do to be qualified to do something?
mhm,
I want you to think about it, think about that, and then I want you to think about why.
mhm,
Like, why are you waiting?
yeah.
Because the waiting, when we think about waiting, and I like to use it, I like to use it as an acronym. Actually, as a sales acronym, it's why am I talking? And I used to train, I used to train sales teams
Yes.
like
Uh-huh.
you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, like zip it.
Yes.
Listen.
Correct. Yes.
But the other way that I like to utilize the word wait is why am I thinking?
Mm,
Because when we stop thinking and we get out of our ego for a moment and we drop in to our heart
yeah.
and we begin to make decisions from that place, we very quickly get to a place where we know what we need.
Mm,
And so I want to invite, those that are listening to, and I have an exercise in it, and it's actually on my podcast. I did my
mm.
one of my guided meditations. I
Oh,
can't
so cool.
remember which episode it is, but it's the Jessica Papineau show. I'm sure you can find it. And it's basically like a way to see yourself like on a metaphorical stage
Mm,
and and really see what does she look like and feel like and all the things, and like really if you do that on a daily basis to almost like see yourself on this metaphorical stage that you are the highest version of who you are. And I've had women do this, I've guided women through this, and the feedback that I get is sometimes they can't see her, like it's
mm,
blurry, there's a veil, which is that if that happens, like that is very normal.
mhm,
But if you continue this practice and you will begin to see the incongruencies between what that highest version of you looks like and what your current looks like. Because what you can begin to understand as you see her is that she is not different from you.
mm.
You are her.
Yes.
And I think that, it's a matter of realizing
Mhm,
that you're on that stage and you're sitting in an audience and there's all these people around you and you're sitting with those people and you're looking at yourself on the stage. What is it like for them?
mm,
What do they see? How does it feel? How does it feel for them when you are on this stage being the highest version of who you are? And again, and metaphorically. So this is like, life is not a dress rehearsal. This is
mhm,
like showing up. Like, you need to show up every
Mhm,
day as that woman because she's you. And what
mhm,
does that do for the audience?
mhm. Mm,
Because that gives them the ability to actually receive the gift.
yes. Yeah, again, is that
So
transfer of energy. Yeah.
I know that was a
Yeah.
very, like, long-winded answer,
Oh,
and
so good.
I do have my power presence quiz,
Mhm,
which is on my website,
mhm,
CSJstyling.com, and that'll kinda give you a guideline of, like, where are you in this process?
mhm,
Where are the gaps, right? And I do have different programs,
mhm,
for the person that is just starting out and maybe she's not an entrepreneur, maybe she's, just graduated college and she's like, "How do I show up in the world?" Like, I
yeah.
used to wear I'm used to going out to the bar and wearing crop tops, and now I gotta go get a real job and, all the things. I
Right.
have a digital course out there that can
Mhm,
really help you to discover, what is this highest version of you? How is she dressing? And then how do I create a wardrobe that aligns with that? So it's kind of like the DIY of what
mhm,
that is. And then we have our mastermind.
mhm,
And I love the women in that space. And most of them work with me one-on-one as well,
mhm,
but that's another space where it's like women coming together, celebrating their wins, really having a safe space where if they're having, an uncomfortable feeling around showing up
mhm,
fully, that they know they can be held in that space with other women,
mhm,
and that we can rise together in
mhm,
in all of this. And then there's one-on-one with
mhm.
me, and that is the experience that we've been talking about. And I don't think I shared this, but I have a whole um, boutique in my home that I
Mhm.
literally manifested,
Yes.
like 7 years ago.
Mhm,
And the space is for me to curate these beautiful pieces of clothing for these women that need them.
mhm,
And so I put so much love into these clothes.
mhm,
And so my process really when I'm sending these style boxes is going in and pulling these items and closing my eyes and envisioning whoever it is that I'm working with wearing each of the pieces and where are they and what stage are they on
mhm,
and where are they with their family and let's make that outfit too. And I'll spend like an evening playing in my boutique with the clothes and curating them, and then that goes in the style box. So the
mhm.
clothes, I believe, have the frequency and the energy, that's needed when you open that box, you'll feel it.
Oh my gosh, it's like Christmas morning. I'm like, "It's actually better than Christmas." I'm like, "Who am I kidding? This is so good." The boxes show up, it really is because it's like little surprises. You just never, like you'll show ahead of time some of the stuff and then sometimes you'll throw in a surprise. But for the most part, I know what's coming, but I don't know how it will necessarily fit or feel, but I know it's going to bring me into some sort of a good feeling, some sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah, breakthrough where it's just going to have me feel even more embodied in what I've stepped into. And so that's why it feels so good because it's a feeling. It's not just the clothing. It really is a feeling I
Mm,
receive when I open the door and then I open the box and then I place it on my body and I'm like, I see what she sees. And it happens so much
yeah,
faster. That's how breakthroughs usually are, is like sometimes they're really difficult in the beginning and then they just get a lot easier. So every box that I've received, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I can feel into this. Like this is the transformation's always faster. And now I'm like, I'm good to go. I feel so good in it. So yeah, I think for the woman that's tuning in, that's like, I loved that example of the waiting. You see in your mind's
Mhm,
eye, you know you were meant for more and you're
mhm,
doing all the right things, right? You're investing in different spaces, you're, taking action, you're doing all these things, but you're like, why hasn't it all locked into place? For me,
mm,
this was such a key element. It was
mm,
such a key element where it was like, I felt it, maybe not fully, but I felt it. I could see it in my mind's eye, but I had to fully embody her also by what I was adorning myself with, placing the energy on my body. And then other people saw it before I even opened my mouth, where it was like the magnitude of what I was placing on my body and the like all of that energy. It was just I felt it on the inside. So it was about this congruence of what I felt on the inside, what I was displaying on the outside. And then someone seeing that and again being like, oh, I see her power. I see her in her power.
Mm.
And that was
Mhm.
when people were like, I want to lean in with you before even having a conversation. And it was like, whoa. So
Yeah.
that for me was the missing piece. So if you can already see in your mind's eye, there's another version of you and you're not there yet and you're questioning, how do I get there? Jessica, I'm just so grateful. She's gifting a one-on-one styling discovery call where you can just play with that energy with her. Better understand like what is this? I have this vision and I don't know how to make it come to fruition. What am I not seeing? Because Jessica is a visionary. This is one of her like superpowers that she was born with, where it's like she sees you at your highest self. And to have someone meet you in that when you can see you in your highest self, but you're kind of scared to go there, you don't know how to get there, and she can see you and she can help you get there, all of a sudden
Mm.
it's like, oh, this is possible. And then it becomes possible.
Mm.
But play with that
Mm.
energy. So I'm so grateful. I'll drop a link in the show notes so you can book that call to just play in the energy of what would it look like to become her, or what would it look like to really step into that energy and yeah, like take her up on this because it's such a gift to be around your vision. You see things so clearly when so many of us have muddied lenses around ourselves. So yeah,
Thank
please take her
you.
up on this. This is like such a gift to humanity.
Thank you. Well, I'm honored. I'm honored, and I'm honored to be here on your podcast
This
today.
is so
Yeah.
fun. Yes. So for those that might be like, oh my gosh, I need to tune into her even more, where can they find you?
Oh, I play in a lot of spaces.
Love.
Instagram is really where I love, but I'm on Instagram, the Jessica Papineau. I'm on Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube. I have a podcast,
Yeah.
The Jessica Papineau Show. There's LinkedIn. I'm in there. I have a blog, but I will say the website CSJ Styling. We've now centralized everything, so it's there. Like my all my handles, all my blog posts, all of my episodes for the podcast. So, and I do my best really to put a lot out there, a lot of quality content,
Yes.
so that everyone can get a little bit of a piece. So
Yes. I completely agree. Mm. So good. Jessica, thank you so much for bringing your
thank
magic
you.
onto the space again. This was so fun. I could talk to you for like a Joe Rogan amount of time. Like, this is just like we could be here for 4 hours. But I just want to say thank you for your magic, for everything that you give into the world, and for you fully saying yes to your gifts. It's so much fun to see you be in your fully expressed version of self because it's such a gift to everyone who gets to play with you. It's so fun. So thank
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to have you on my show for the second time.
Yay, it's going to be so fun. So, for those of you that are tuning in, thank you so much for gifting us with your most precious resource, your time. And until next time.